This is Black Woman CEO. Welcome to the only podcast dedicated to giving you the raw and real experiences of successful Black women entrepreneurs. Yes, girl, we're talking about the behind the scenes strategies of what it takes to increase in your profit, power, and purpose. I am your host, Quanisha Green, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. Hey there. This is Quanisha Green, the founder and CEO of Black Women CEO, coming here today with a video on how to virus-proof your business. And this is really about the power of preparation, right? So if you haven't prepared, there's things you can do in your business, whether it's the coronavirus, you get the flu, you get a stomach virus, right? So that you know what to do in these instances if life happens and things change, but you can still maintain your business, your income, and all these other goodies, right? So I hope you find this video informative. And if you are watching for the first time, anything Black Women CEO, drop a 1 in the comments below. If you've been hanging out with us for a while, then go ahead and put what was I doing before? Oh, CEO sister. So I know that you're a CEO sister. And then if you're watching the replay, put #replay. And this, I want you to be interactive, like ask questions, leave comments. Let me know what resonates with you. 1, because I always come back and respond to them. And 2, it also helps more sisters to watch the video because, as you know, it's the algorithm. It increases the reach. The more you interact, whether it's, doing the little hearts and thumbs up or leaving a comment. So that's another way to pay it forward and help another sister rise. So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Quanisha Green, the founder and CEO of Black Women CEO. I am the confidence strategist for Black Women CEO, really helping service-based entrepreneurs and experienced experts to grow and start a thriving business, right? So if you are highly educated and you've been looking to transition from corporate and academia to entrepreneurship, this is the place for you. If you are an experienced entrepreneur and you're looking to get to your next level, having consistent income and revenue, this is the place for you. So I just want to dive into today's topic that's really been inspired around not to date this, but right now in the world, we're having what the World Health Organization calls a pandemic with the coronavirus. And it's going to have, aside from the virus and the mortality rate, that's going to potentially impact all of us in some shape, way, or form, or the statistics are showing 30 to 50% of the world may catch this virus, is also going to have wider economic impacts. So whether you are a small business, or you're a parallelpreneur where you're running your business in addition to working full time, we're seeing some major shifts as people who are in quote unquote white collar jobs are moving to working from home. There's been layoffs, right? As a result, like at different peers and different things because of the restrictions around imports and exports. We are seeing places closing down, right, in schools, and some people don't have sick days. And so although there's these different measures that are, coming around this, you may see your business impacted, right, or start to feel this in your life. So I wanted to talk about some tips for virus-proofing your business that you can think about in the bigger scale, and you can hopefully even implement some of these things right now so that maybe you don't have as hard as an economic impact on your business. So one of the first tips I have for you is to diversify your revenue streams, right? I'm not one of those people who believe that a job is just over broke. Right. A lot of times we hear that in direct sales. So it's because we're going to need employees. Even if you build an empire, everybody's going to need employees. Right. And so we often hear that, well, let me back up. Some of us have one income, which may be coming from our jobs or even a particular service you may be offering in your business. Right. But if we think about what we learned from financial experts when it comes to saving, they talk about diversifying your investments, right, in your portfolio. Have some stocks, have some real estate, have some mutual funds, right? Have cash in a 401k, have cash in a money market account or whatever, so that if you see one thing tanking, you have some other sources. And so today I want to encourage you to diversify your income as an entrepreneur, right? So many of you may have income that's directly related to your labor, right? Directly, you're trading, hours for dollars, or you have to actually provide the service in order to get paid. And there's nothing wrong with that source of income. It's just one type of an income stream that you can say comes as a result of, say, active selling. But there's other types of income streams, right? There is one called recurring payments, right? And this is often where you allow people to have payment plans and paying down their, like, say, on your signature service. So this way you have consistent revenue coming in, right, for the course of that contract. Another source of income is recurring, you can say, how to say this? I actually have it written down. Wait. Oh, recurring revenue, sorry. And that can come in the form of, membership organizations or services where people are paying you for a month for a membership. For example, we have the Black Women CEO Network. And so we have a membership level for that where people get access to our work, access to some coaching per month, access to a community, right? And they pay a monthly membership fee. And that's different than, say, my private coaching clients who may be on payment plans, other services where I have payment plans. So there's recurring payments, right? And then you have recurring revenue that's coming as a result of people, say, having access to a membership or even a digital training, right? So there's different levels to have recurring revenue in that way. The other type of revenue you can consider for your business outside of the active revenue of, say, trading hours for dollars, right, is that you can have passive income. Now, many of us love this idea of passive income. You may have heard it as the laptop lifestyle, right? But passive income is when you kind of set up sometimes a sales funnel or structures to consistently sell, say, your digital products, right? So online courses or digital courses or services, right? That doesn't really require you to be there, right? In that way. And people are paying for access to that. So that's something that you can build a marketing stream for that, or a sales process. Some people call them the funnels nowadays for that, where those things are constantly being purchased, right? And generating revenue. So at Black Women CEO, we have all these types. So that I have diversified our income streams. And some of these, once again, like passive products, you do it once and you can keep selling it, right? That doesn't require one need to necessarily deliver the service, but it allows revenue to come into our business from different ways. So I want to encourage you to diversify your income. If you don't know how to do that, definitely get informed. And of course, we can help you with thinking through that. Now, if you're at a stage where you have a signature offer, right, there's even ways to take the work that's from your signature offer and still create these other type of revenue streams. So I'm not saying go out there and create all these services and products. You can still use your core work and actually diversify how the income comes in different ways. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed and think you have to go take another course to do this, right? But it's something to consider in that way. The second thing I have is, the tip that I have is build your business around your ideal life. Right? So many of you have a vision of living on your terms, working from anywhere, leaving a legacy, right? Taking care of your kids for long-term generational wealth, right? But have you really started to build your business out like that from the beginning? So for example, this whole trading hours for dollars, many folks start in that way where they're like, oh, pay me $300 and I'll give you an hour of my time. Instead of thinking about what is the structure of your business that's going to allow you to have your ideal life. So if you work from anywhere, but yet you're trading hours for dollars, or you're doing your work in person, will that actually allow you to work from anywhere in the world? No. So you really want to think about your business structure that supports the ideal life. So for example, I work from home. I started my business with this idea of working from home. So my work is not going to change as a result of the coronavirus, right? Like I still will be able to work virtually because I've set up my service delivery, how I get paid, all these other things to support that ideal life that I wanted, right? So if you've been wanting that, then you have to start to think differently about how you go about actually servicing people and building your business out so that you don't have to have this big shift. And if you've been doing in-person work, yeah, you can definitely transition right to digital delivery and other things like that. And not only would that be in service of you now while we're dealing with this viral epidemic, or if you just get sick, right? Like say you have the flu. And not saying that you have to work while you're sick, right? But we may have other considerations in life that still may where we may not be able to do our work one-to-one or just, hours to dollars. So there's other frameworks in which you can build your business. But once again, start with the life that you desire and start to build your business around that, because as you start to achieve that life, right, you can change it. And it's a little bit more difficult to change when you built a business that's not in support of your life. I have clients who have done that, and I know peers who have done that, and they're stressed or they're overworked or they're unhappy. And they're like, okay, I didn't build my business on this trajectory. I built it on another. And now I don't know how to change it, right? Because they built systems and processes that doesn't align with where they want to be. So, but if you do that from the beginning, this is something that you don't have to necessarily worry about because you built your business around how you want to live, whether one day, right, or even right now. So start to build your business around your life. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, if you have engagements, right? So some of you do speaking engagements, or you're a consultant, or you have some live work, start to talk to those sources about how you can deliver your work in a different way, right? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a how right now. So one thing that I do, like I have a speaking engagement that's scheduled for 2 weeks at a university, and the university is not going to be closed after March 15th. It's March 12th as of this recording. So they're telling the students not to come back from spring break. Now, once again, because I already have digital set up in my business, I contacted the organizers today and I was like, hey, what about us going digital and doing it via Zoom, right? Because I already have all that set up with the students, and they're going to get back to me because they're like, we have to figure out some logistics, but it's an option, right? The distance learning is an option. But here's the thing. One thing I request from all speaking engagements, so why this may not impact my income, is because I require a deposit even to hold the space. Right? It's a non-refundable deposit. So even if this doesn't happen, I already have a non-refundable deposit that's still going to allow that revenue related to that engagement to come to me. And when you have that, one, it doesn't impact your revenue, your cash flow as much, where you're waiting 30 days, right, from the day of the event to get paid. You also then get paid for any prep work, right? That's one of the reasons of having that revenue. You're getting paid for prep work in that. And then if you have an engagement, you can explore rebooking. So of course, if you didn't do that, right, you can even go back and request like, hey, can I actually have 50% of the contract up front to hold the date or to help with preparation to compensate me for that? And then you can ask for the rest for the date of. But if you have an engagement right now, that's one way to like support yourself and your cash flow even ahead of time. So you can just start doing that. But even if you're in that right now, you can bring that up maybe to say like, hey, I would love to still support the organization. Do you want to book a date for later in the fall? And they may be like, yes. And it's like, okay, well, one thing to do that is I do require a deposit to hold the date. Right. So you can start to get that process going, because guess what? Payroll is still going to happen at these organizations for that. The other thing that, like I said, you can do with like in-person engagements is see if you can go virtual. So even if a conference was shut down or something like that, you may be able to contact the organizers and ask like, hey, I know we can't do this engagement, but you all were really excited about this topic. What do you think of us offering as a digital training or workshop? And then, of course, there can be a fee associated with it so that people can still have this topic. Right. So that's something that you can propose to the organizer in some way. And then, like I said, the other thing is just to rebook. So see if they're rebooking it. Right. Or once again, propose another way where maybe if they're having another in-person later on in the year, you can ask to, do your workshop at that time. So really get creative and offer solutions. Right. Don't just be like, well, what y'all gonna do? Right. Offer solutions that will work to your benefit and continue to support you and your company and bringing in revenue. So So, I guess it's like addressing like in-person engagements is number three, where one, from now on, you should just be asking for a deposit to ensure your revenue streams, and that, you have some security around an event. Seek to rebook, right? Or even seek on how you can go digital so that you can still service the organization and get fully paid for the work that you had on your calendar, right? So number four, is a tip around, once again, how to protect yourself. So having agreements and services that are all sales final, or contracts that say that you are still liable for all these payments, right? Particularly if you have a payment plan or whatever it is, right? So, and of course, I'm not an attorney, so you can consult an attorney about the ways to do this so that you're protected in your state, right? But really making sure that clients understand, like, hey, the sale is final, or, there's no refunds associated with this, or you're still liable for your payment plans no matter kind of what happens, right? That still protects you and the revenue that is scheduled to come into your business, right? Or once again, a service agreement. So once again, you can maybe be flexible around how that service may be delivered, right? Or, say you were traveling somewhere to do an in-person VIP day with the client. It may be like, okay, well, you still have to honor the payment plan that we have set maybe for this, or if they're already paid, it's like, okay, it's non-refundable, but I'm happy to reschedule your in-person session to later in the year, right? Where we can know more about what's going on. So you don't necessarily have to refund because things may be changing right now, because hopefully, right, you got them to sign that contract and agreement and explains that's what it is. But now you can, explore flexible schedules and different things like that. So for example, the Black Woman CEO retreat, we're supposed to have in April 23rd through the 26th in the Bahamas. And although the Bahamas doesn't have any cases of coronavirus, I'm concerned not just for myself, but for our participants traveling there, right? In the airports, on the airplanes, and then not just them, but their families and their communities when they come back, right? Because God forbid, if someone did contract coronavirus, we know that there's wider impacts to that in quarantines. So I'm actually seeking with our hosts, and we're just figuring out the dates that, to move it to November, but still they have to honor their payment plans and all those things around it, because, we got paid for the retreat and other things that are associated with it. But that was something that was also explained from the very beginning, that deposits are non-refundable, payments are non-refundable, right? And of course, if something happens where we do have to cancel the whole trip and our booking agency can allow us a refund, then I have to create maybe some policies around that, just to, be in integrity and honor that. But as of now, that's the agreement, right? So that helps ensure that cash flow is still coming in to cover expenses, as well as my pay and all these things related to this live event. So make sure you start really thinking through your policies and making it clear particularly when you deliver a service, that you are still liable for the payment, or that all sales are final, particularly if you're doing digital or memberships, right? Or there needs to be a cancellation period. You have to notify us at least 30 days before. So start thinking about how you're putting in these structures and policies, or maybe you're establishing now structures and policies that honor yourself, your business, and then also honors your client, so that they're clear on the policies and structures that you have around their service delivery. So that was tip number 4. Tip number 5, and this kind of like goes into what I just said, is to reschedule live events if possible. Right. So of course, if you were planning like a 900-person conference, and the venue's not available, you may have to figure out the bigger logistics. But if you are doing a retreat or a dinner or like a 2-3 day live event, start talking to the venues around rescheduling it, right? Instead of completely canceling it. Because this way, once again, the payments that has come in around that's covering vendors or the booking space and all these other things can still be honored and be there, right? But you're moving it to another date. And the airlines right now are allowing people to change their bookings without change fees and those kind of things like that. So one thing, you don't necessarily have to cancel, you can reschedule. And you'll probably hear this echoed out from the previous tips, right? Reschedule. So think strategically about how you can still honor the revenue or the cash flow that's scheduled to come in and still honor on how you can deliver a service to your client. So reschedule any live events or experience if possible, or even consider doing them digitally, just how we talked about engagements. You can even say that was more about organization engagements, but you can even reconsider how you are delivering this conference experience or bringing the guest speakers on digitally, that still provides the content and the experiences that those participants were looking for, right? So you can say, here's what we're going to do in light of this. So that's one thing to consider: rescheduling, rebooking, and maybe even thinking about the changing the service delivery for any live events that you've had. And number 6, my 6th tip here is speak to your clients, right? Answer their questions. Don't start ignoring people. So one of the ways this is basically customer service when you talk about virus proofing your business, is to engage with your community. When people feel like they're being heard, they're being listened to, they're being considered, you will see probably less requests for refunds and cancellations and all these different things like that. So being in communication, letting folks know like, hey, we're creating some policies, or, like I did in my group, I was like, what would you all think about this date or moving the conference to November? And then we were having discussion about, the retreat to November, and having a discussion around that, right? And I took that to our booking agency, and technically I didn't have to ask them, right? Because I'm the CEO. I could have just did what I wanted to do. But no, I wanted people to feel good about the change and feel like their voice was heard in the change. One, because it was important to me either way, right? But I also wanted to see how they would feel. And so when we do come up with the change or that we're pursuing, people feel good around it, and they can start even, getting their mindset adjusted around it, and what that may mean for them. So definitely address questions and concerns that comes up around any of these business changes. And that also, once again, should be a regular policy that you have around your business, because once again, it helps to reduce cancellations. It helps to de-escalate heated situations. And then once again, when you have certain things in writing and policies, people know what to expect from the beginning, because you can always refer them back, right? Even if they, like I had a situation one time when someone did a chargeback, and I was able to show my processor like, nope, here's the contract. They initial near the one that said all sales are final, right? And the processor honored the payment, right, to me. And so you say, quote unquote, I won the case, right? So once again, starting to have things in writing. So it sets the tone for your relationship for clients. And then once again, starting to answer their questions around things and creating some policies or putting it on official letterhead helps to, once again, let people know that you're tending to this, that you're attentive to their needs, and they're feeling listened and heard. You may even have heard this before, like in malpractice suits, when something happens in a hospital, often people just want someone to say, I'm sorry. Right? Or we're sorry this happened to you. And there's probably some, once again, you may need to consult a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal counsel, right? There's some ways to say, hey, this is our fault and we apologize, without maybe saying like, hey, it's our fault and now you can sue us because we accepted fault for it. And sometimes people just want that, right? They don't necessarily want you to pay them back or sue you. They just want to say like, can we be human? Can you interact with me as a human, right now, and address this situation? Let me see, there may be comments. Hey folks, I see folks are saying hi. So I'd love to hear, what are your thoughts around this so far? All right, let me, okay, now I can see folks' comments. Hello. Okay. And so, yeah, that's what I had around there. And then, so that was number 6, speak to client concerns. Oh, so number 7 for virus proof, on how to virus proof your business, is to start thinking about automation, right? I want to say domination and automation. Maybe these should be 2 different points. Yeah, let's make them 2 different. I think that's what I actually did here on the notes. Let's talk about automation. So this is something, once again, structurally, when you start to think about the life that you desire and how to build your business around it, start thinking about how much you can take yourself out of your business so that you can work on your business. So working in your business would be constantly like writing marketing emails and sending customer service, addressing the customer service directly, and actively writing Facebook posts all the time or social media posts. Like you are actively almost in real time doing this, like even service delivery, right? Maybe you're teaching people the same thing over and over again in their live calls, but start thinking about how to automate and take yourself out of your business so you can work on your business. And working on your business may be, planning out a sales strategy or developing relationships and prospecting, right? Starting to think how you're going to scale your business, and do you start need to investing in resources or training to help you do that, right? So the on your business part is actually helping your business to grow, right? And developing it, which is not working in your business, which is often in the like day-to-day work, right? So that's the difference. And one way you can do that, starting to kind of take yourself out of the service delivery and even in the day-to-day of your business, is start thinking about automation, right? So one thing you can think about is, how are you automating your marketing? Right, advertising is one way to do that, using the social media hosts. Maybe there's something like Hootsuite, there's Meet Egger, where they will send your posts out for you, right, on a schedule. So even if, say, you had a stomach virus, you got to take 2 days off, your posts are still going out, right, for you. Your welcome sequence for your email. I know some people who, they have a free offer, and then they're in real time responding to people saying, oh, here's the link, right? And you're emailing instead of setting up an email service provider, right? Which you're legally required to do as a business so people can opt out. And then secondly, setting up an automation sequence or paying for that level that allows you to automate. So the system is sitting this out for you, right? Even my digital work, I have systems that are in place where people are automatically invited to some things because the emails go out, right? There's automation set up. So start thinking about how you're automating your marketing. And let's see. Yes, and revenue too. So I also know some folks, when they first started working with me, well, like one of my clients has a candle business and she was marketing it on Instagram. So once again, she was doing manual posts, and there are programs or software that will help you to schedule those things out ahead of time for Instagram, right? And then when people were making orders, she was manually collecting those orders in Messenger. Right now, if she had to be away from her business and maybe couldn't check this because she wasn't well or taking care of a family member, she would lose out on money. Right. So one thing we're working with her is like, let's get a website, right? So people can, or an e-commerce site where there's a link so people can go to the link, or you can share the link, and then they go buy, right? And the payment processing is set up automatically. Whatever integration that you need to make with that system, right? You're not having to manually collect payments or anything like that. All of that is happening basically behind the scenes digitally and doesn't require your manual labor. Right. So not only can you automate your marketing, you can automate how you get paid, right? And your sales process from beginning to end, so that it doesn't require you to manually go in and do this, right? And some of these services are free. Some of these you will require some payment, but once again, it's the cost of doing business. Because think about, what is your hour of time worth, right? And if in an hour you can go make $3,000, right? Why would you spend that hour every day actually, doing payment processing, where you can have a system that does that for you for $30 a month, right? And all the hours that are dedicated to that. And you can spend your time on higher level revenue generating activity. So don't be afraid to pay. I've heard people say like, oh, well, there's $20 there and $30 there. But if you have to pay $100 to $200 to actually run your business efficiently, that's the cost of doing business. Like, businesses have expenses. So just how like you have recurring expenses in your life, like the electricity bill, water bills, right? Your business is going to have fixed, right, and recurring expenses also. And it doesn't have to be a lot. There are a lot of cost effective and free ways. And this is what I tell my clients all the time, and I share with them, to do payment processing, to do marketing, even Facebook ads you can get inexpensively. But once again, you're tapping into the system. So set up automations. Once again, you can do that now if you haven't, right? But you want to think about this as a bigger aspect of your business. So that's number 7. Start doing automations, particularly your marketing and sales process. And once again, this is really about I just realized I said once again like 8 times. This is really about how can you leverage digital, right, means to do this. Or if it's not digital, how are you having a team member do this? Right. And because you probably have a process for where you're doing this, can somebody else do this that you're paying 10, 15, $30 an hour? Because then once again, your time can be spent on higher level revenue generating activities. Right. So there are some things that may require manual, like someone hands-on to do it, right? So if you're sending like prospecting emails for speaking engagements, right, or training engagements, you may need to have someone who's manually sending out those introductory emails or prospecting emails, right? But once again, it doesn't have to be you. You can create a template, right? Or you can review a whole bunch at a time and then have your assistant out. So there's different ways to automate or create processes. So you can say even recurring processes and templates that allows you to take yourself out of the business. So whether you're tending to yourself, loved ones, or you just decide to take a day off, you know that your business is still running for you, right? And working for you. So that's number 7, automation. Number 8, in a way to virus-proof your business, is dominate. Do not stop marketing. Do not stop marketing. And we saw this in the Great Depression, right? That companies that kept marketing basically got a larger share of the market because other folks stopped. Right. So you have a marketing budget, and if you don't have, create one. Or once again, you can market on a lot of platforms for free. Keep doing it. Keep showing up consistently. And once again, you can use automations or team members, or software, right? Whatever it is, to keep staying top of mind for the folks in your audience, right? Because you want them to keep thinking about you. So don't go away and you'd be like, don't show up, nobody sees you, right? Because then you're losing some of your market share. You're losing out on building and maintaining those relationships with your current clients or prospective clients, right? So you want to keep offering value and keep marketing and showing up so that you don't lose that place in the marketplace, right? Or have to play catch up. So even through a pandemic, you can still share your messaging, build a relationship, make call to actions, right? To engage people. And guess what? Everybody ain't broke during a pandemic, right? So, there are people who have means who are still want to invest and may take this time to say, hey, I'm working from home or I got some time off. That means I can work on my business or work on my relationship or work on my health, right? Whatever your service delivery is. So don't think that just because life is changing that there aren't still people who are interested in investing in themselves and their development and solving problems. So, right, keep showing up. So that's one way to virus proof your business. That is number 8. Number 9 is to seek collaborations, right? So keep essentially building relationships. So there's actually 2 levels of this. So number 9 is actually build relationships. So just like marketing, you want to keep making connections, right? I don't believe in competition. I believe in collaborations. And I know technically there's competition in business, right? There's people who may be doing the same thing you do, targeting your audience. But I believe in collaborations, right? So keep connecting with people to see how you can seek collaborations, essentially leveraging their platform or adding value to your platform. Because once again, it helps you stay top of mind. And if you're building these relationships and saying doing guest talks or guest presentations or even joint ventures where you're having a sales or commission, you are still getting out there, and that collateral continues to work for you right beyond today. And when you are consistently actually showing up, promoting yourself, right, that allows, basically is marketing too, it allows your business to keep going, right? You're making offers, you're showing up, right? And so that helps to have the sales consistently coming in or having an audience consistently coming in that you can eventually build a relationship to and make invitations to work with you, right? Or once again, invest in your products and other services or memberships, whatever it is, right? So keep building relationships, particularly collaborations, joint ventures. You can do podcasts, guest talks, all these other things that will continue to work for your business. And the other part of build relationships is keep prospecting, right? Keep Connecting and doing lead generation, right? Connecting with people who are I call it soulmate clients, but who are your ideal buyers, and taking them along the sales process, right? So keep prospecting, keep building those relationships, reaching out with people, having conversations, right? The more touches you have, the more likely you are to produce revenue. So basically, don't hide, right? And so you can say that's part of 6, 7, 8, and even the other tips. Keep showing up consistently, keep building relationships, because the net worth is in your network, right? So by building relationships, you actually cultivate a network that's particular to your business. And number 10 way to actually virus proof your business. So it's 10 ways. I had to change the number. Is seek funding. Right, seek funding. So if you're having a cash flow crunch, or you need a cash influx to scale your business, and this works whether or not it's a virus or not, you want to possibly seek funding to do that, right? You can play with somebody else's money, even though you got to pay it back, to help you maintain your marketing, to invest in, infrastructure or a team that can help you grow your business. And once again, if you're having a cash flow crunch, maybe payment plans are getting delayed and you still got to cover some expenses, seek a traditional business loan or a line of credit or crowdfunding, right? I actually have 7 creative ways to finance your business. So if you would like that, just put hashtag funding in the comments. I can send you that link, where you can look at some of these creative ways to actually fund your business. So by getting a loan or working capital or line of credit, it would allow that revenue to come in. And there's different ways to repay these things. So maybe that helps you to get through this lull, right? And then with the revenue that you have coming in later, you can actually, pay back your loans or working capital. And many working capital, they take a percentage of revenue that's coming in, right? So if you're having a slag in sales, they may not take anything but quarterly, they kind of have a requirement for a minimum payment, right? But once again, when sales come in, they take a percentage of that. So there's some really great ways that you can seek diverse levels of funding that can help to support you through a lull, right? Or even help you to scale your business during this time. So those are the 10 ways I have for you to virus proof your business. Love to hear your thoughts around this. And let me just jump to this. So Mara said, totally agree. Always important to have contingency plans on personal life and business. Yes, sister. And Seneca says, great info. I'm so glad that you found this helpful. And then Tiffany said, hello, Tiffany. Hey, Mara. And let me just see if there are any other comments or questions that I can address on the video. Oh, this isn't shared to one place that I wanted it to share to. I wonder why. So like I said, leave your comment if you're watching the replay. I will come back and answer any questions or comments and those kind of things like that. So this is Kanisha Green signing off, and I want you to remember our motto that power is the ability to create your reality. So go forth, sister, and once again, put funding. If you would like to get, I'll just paste in the comments our 7 creative ways to finance your business. I will put that there, and that will allow you to get that resource as well as join into our Black Women CEO community and get our updates and invitations to explore our work and be involved in our community. Okay. And I'll also put the Facebook group. So that's something else you can do. So I'll put all those links there now. So I look forward to connecting a face to your name. So come on over to the Black Women CEO Circle, our Facebook group, and go ahead and get that funding guide so that you can also join our email list and stay up to date and see how that we can support you in growing into a confident CEO and increasing your earning power as a Black woman entrepreneur. So I'll talk with you soon. Oh, girl, the episode stopped, but the party is not over. I want you to go ahead and subscribe, like, and rate this show. Leave us a comment sharing your takeaways. And when you're done with that, come on over to blackwomanceo.com, join our movement. And when you do that, you'll get the special invitation to join us in our community. Well, I will love to put a face to that name, girl. So this is Quanisha signing off, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Peace and love.